All right, welcome into One of One Entertainment. This is the first video on my new second channel. Typically, I'm doing a sports channel, One of One Sports. If you guys are sports fans, make sure to check that out. You might like it. Maybe leave it a like, subscribe to the channel. Just hit 200 subscribers today, a little bit before filming this video. But this channel, not going to be sports based. I also like other things. So, for example, music, movies, TV is primarily what I think I'm going to talk about on this channel. And recently, new Ed Sheeran album dropped. He is one of my favorite musical artists, made some of my favorite albums. We're talking about Multiply. Plus, he's made some of my favorite songs. Photograph, I commonly say, is my favorite song of all time, or at least competition for it. So I was pretty excited to listen to the new Ed Sheeran album play, and here's going to be my tier list ranking of all the songs. All right, so first track, it is Opening. In case you weren't sure, he did name it Opening, so you know which the first track is. And I was surprised we got Ed Sheeran rapping, which, I don't remember the last time it was a Ed Sheeran rapping song. Maybe there's one I'm forgetting because I didn't really like it, but the ones that's coming to mind are on Multiply. I know there was obviously Song Plus, but Multiply came after that. I'm not remembering anything on Equal or Subtract or Autumn Variation. So I was surprised to hear the opening track have a lot of rapping. And a little bit of a pleasant surprise. Was it actually that good? Did I enjoy it that much? Not necessarily. And it's borderline between good and mid. Right now, I'm going to put it good. But like I said, the rapping was a nice little surprise. And, it was clear there were certain songs, and there often are in Ed Sheeran albums, where you're like, all right, maybe it was catchy or something, but like, what was even going on? Did the words really mean anything at all? There was clearly some emotional weight behind this, which I did appreciate. Then Sapphire, I think better than Opening. Now it's more generic. It's more like, even with the foreign influence on it, it's clearly like a generic pop song, catchy enough, good enough at doing what it's doing. It's gonna be in your head a little bit later, but yeah, nothing special about this. Why does tier list have so many ads? So I'm seeing it's covering content. Okay, and then Azizam, I would say below these two. Again, it's sort of like Sapphire with the foreign influence thing, but still kind of catchy. Bit of a controversy, sounding like Michael Jackson's "Leave Me Alone." "Leave Me Alone" clearly the better song. And Ed Sheeran, one of my favorite artists. Michael Jackson is my favorite artist. So would I ever listen to Azizam over "Leave Me Alone"? Probably not. Does Ed Sheeran add enough of a spin to it? Sure, but I don't know. I wasn't loving it. It was mediocre to me. "Old Phone" may be the best song on the album for me. Not gonna go absolutely love it. Doesn't compare to the heights of Ed Sheeran when we're talking Photograph or Perfect or anything like that tier. No, but it was a good, nice, slow Ed Sheeran song. The lyrics I thought were pretty strong and relatable enough, talking about past stuff. Good, getting a message across and not just being generic like fluff in the lyrics. So I like the lyrics, catchy enough hook. And yeah, it was clear some emotional weight behind it. All in all, it made for a really good song. Like I said, maybe my favorite on the album. One that's competing for it, Symmetry. It's between good and great. I'm gonna go top of good, which does mean Old Phone's still holding the top spot. This was one where I listened to the my first listen through the album. I was like, okay, gotta go back through. This was one I was looking forward to listening a second time, because I was like, oh, that was really interesting. That was different than what an Ed Sheeran pop song typically sounds like. So yeah, I thought it was different enough and a different flavor that separated it from something like Sapphire enough for me to put it ahead while still being catchy. Like I said, again, the lyrics, what is it getting across? Is it like meaningful? No, not really, but still a good song. Camera, thought the lyrics were really strong. Really liked the hook. The rest of the song, it wasn't the strongest. Like, the first time I listened to it, I was getting like old Ed vibes, which I thought was going to maybe be here. Second listen through, I was like, okay, you really like the hook, and the one part about Frozen in Motion really jumped out at me. But the rest of the song, not that strong. I should mention, by the way, I'm not like a musical guy or song critic. I just like everyone else, just like music, just giving an opinion. So not a professional opinion at all. But Camera, I'm going to go good. Not ahead of Symmetry, though. I put it slightly below Symmetry. In other words, struggle to say that. Probably mediocre. I thought it had really predictable hook. As soon as he started listing things, I knew exactly where the song was going, exactly what it was going to sound like. But it still delivered like the sweet message from an Ed Sheeran song. It was fine. A little more definitely competing with best song on this album with "Old Phone." Now, was it did it have the same message weight behind it as "Old Phone"? No, it's more like a generic like Ed Sheeran revenge type song, which was fine, and he writes them pretty well. It is catchy enough, but I thought the lyrics Old Phone bit stronger, and I just preferred the more Ed Sheeran slow song vibe than the Ed Sheeran pop song vibe. But depending on which style you like, I think these were the best of his select. You either have like the Ed Sheeran pop song or the Ed Sheeran like slow pop song. So it's depending on what your style. I think these are the two best in the album. I prefer the Old Phone style just slightly. Slowly, not a fan. I thought it was overly dramatic within the lyrics. I thought the vocals sounded a bit strange. And I mean, yeah, that's really all I say. I didn't love the lyrics or the vocals. So, yeah, that's going to make it kind of a bad song, in my opinion. Don't Look Down, going to accompany slowly. In the chorus, when he goes for that high note, not a fan of that. And so that knocked it down a touch for me, and everything else was just, kind of forgettable. So it makes that in the bad tier, sorry. The Vow, this is where you get your Ed Sheeran wedding song. Now, I want to be fair because when I think Ed Sheeran wedding song, I'm comparing it to the likes of A Perfect, of Thinking Out Loud. And does it compare to those? In my opinion, no, not at all. But it's still a decent song, so I'm going to put it in good. It's hard when you think Ed Sheeran wedding song and he has, clearly some better options, in my opinion. What did I just do? Oh, I put For Always. No, we meant to put The Vow. For Always will be mediocre. It was a sweet message and good enough hook, but like I said, it's one where, you could probably skip it. It is pretty forgettable. Obviously it's a slower song, so it's not have the catchiness element. And overall, yeah, like, will I listen to it if I'm listening to the album again? Maybe, but it's also a potential skip, probably a lead skip. Heaven, this was one of the weaker tracks on the album. Not very good at all. Whatever was going on about the science thing, I just didn't think any of this sounded good. Then we get into the extended track. So listening to the extended album, not a fan. Did not need 4 extra songs. Didn't really think any of them added much. Problems, I thought was bad. Maybe the worst song on the album. War Game, mediocre. Decent enough hook, but yeah, it's not really good at all. Regrets added a little bit more emotional weight, but outside of that, did it sound great? No, not really. And it's clearly, like I said, there's a big gap between As He's Am and Regrets here. So just say that. And then Freedom, it's here. Like I said, the extended tracks, they just didn't add much. All pretty forgettable. And, I feel bad because As He's Am and Other Words and For Always are clearly better than Regrets and War Game. So for that reason, I'm going to move them down here. But yeah, to recap, Old Phone and a little more best songs on the album, in my opinion. Do it compete with the highs of other Ed Sheeran albums? No. And then we have, a handful of pretty good songs, few skips, and then a lot, 7, the biggest category of bad songs. So yeah, this album for me was a disappointment. When my favorite album maybe is Multiply, it's up there with maybe my favorite album of all time. Really like Plus. Divide's a great album. I liked Autumn Variations. But yeah, this album overall like a 6.5 out of 10. Definitely disappointed me as someone who was a big Ed Sheeran fan. But let me know, do you guys disagree? Do you think this was a really strong Ed Sheeran album? What was your favorite song? And am I underrating it? Or is Ed Sheeran maybe slipping a little bit with his music? Make sure to leave it in the comment section. Oh, and let me know, did you enjoy first video on the new channel? Until next time. If you did, go ahead, leave it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.